All right, welcome back to another episode of the 2023 MLB Draft Show. Ian, we got Hurston Waldrep on the show, man. He's bringing the heat. Hurston, what's going up? Thomasville, Georgia's own Hurston Waldrep.
How's it going, guys?
We're good. We're good.
Stoked to have you, man.
Excited to have the heat,
Thank
man.
you for having me.
So let's kick this thing off. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Hurston Waldrep? What kind of competitor are you on the bump? And then off the field, how do you like to kill your time? Hobbies, passions, things like that.
I was born and raised on a wild quail reserve, I guess you could call it. So I love hunting with a passion, love fishing, being outdoors. That's pretty much my passion in the off time. Off season is doing something outdoors. So that's what I spend a lot of my time, taking my mind off baseball. That's usually where I go. I love playing golf. That's my, at school hobby that I can get away and do the most when we're not playing. But when it comes to the mound, I feel like a competitor is only like that's just who I am. Like, I'm a competitor in all aspects. I want to be the best version of myself in all aspects. I want to be better than whoever I'm facing. I have confidence in myself that, I can get the job done. And, I want to have trust in the people around me and the teammates, coaches, that we can get the job done together. And I put a lot of value in that and the team and myself, and just, hold myself accountable to do the best I can on and off the field.
For sure.
Absolutely. Well, first things first, I also want to ask you about your 2022 year. You started off by really making a name for yourself in your sophomore season, and then it ended up with the transfer to, obviously, the University of Florida in July. Just talking about how the year was for you in full and just how everything's going for you just with the transfer and all.
Yeah, so the year went great. It was awesome to be back in the starter role after being in the bullpen my freshman year. It was a very, very good learning experience that I felt like I needed, was being in the bullpen and learning to adjust to that role. But the season overall went very well. I mean, a lot of success, failures too that, we learned from and that I felt like carried us to where we made it. So being able to go deep into the playoffs like that, play the team that ended up winning the whole thing, is, it's just crazy to look back on, and, all the takeaways that you can get from that. So seeing the successes and the failures that not just me and myself had, but the team, and it was a lot of fun to do, to see all that, see everything that happened, and then going into the summer with Team USA and dealing with the transfer portal while I was there at Team USA. It was a lot to deal with, to say the least, but looking at it now, it was the best decision I could have made. And coming here to University of Florida, everything that I've seen so far, it's unreal, playing with guys like Wyatt. Seeing just the talent that's here and the potential that, we could have a really great season.
Was that kind of the selling point? Just you wanted to be surrounded by the most talent you could find?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, that's what I want out of myself. I want to be the guy that pushes you and is set an example, and just be the definition of hard work and everything that I do. And I think in order to do that, you have to surround yourself with that kind of people and be around people that want to work and want to get better every day and come to the ballpark with a purpose, go to the weight room with a purpose. And so, I mean, that's what I've found, and that was pretty much my intentions behind the whole, pretty much all of it. So,
gotcha. Well, I want to add one other thing, Ian, if you don't mind me asking.
No, go ahead.
So, I don't know if most people know this, but you got 99 in your back pocket. I mean, it's a pretty talented right arm, but can you kind of tell viewers and listeners a little bit about what your arsenal is and how you like to attack hitters?
Yeah, so I'm a very over-the-top slot, so it plays really well with a four-seam. It's got a little bit of cut to it every now and then, a little bit of glove side cut. So being able to play off of that with my slider was where I got most of my success last year, early on in the first half of the year. And then later in the year, I, learned to play up in the zone a little better, play off my curveball, which is a 12-6, 83, 84 most days. And that's been pretty much my go-to breaking ball was the curveball. And then slider is going to be a little more of a gyroscopic slider. It's not going to have much horizontal. It's going to have a little bit of depth to it. It's going to be a little harder, probably 87, 88 on the days that I'm throwing it good. And then probably my favorite pitch is my splitter, which I added in the middle of the season last year, started messing with it, throwing it, and that'll range anywhere from 85 to 88 and has been a really, really consistent put away pitch in the fall and the end of last year.
I don't know how anybody hits you.
It's a pretty.
I don't know how anybody hits you.
Yeah, that kind of leads me right into my next question. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about both your breaking balls. I think they both could grade out as a plus pitch going into this year and leading on forward. Is there a pitch that you prefer throwing more? Obviously, you said you throw both in certain situations, but do you have a certain feel for both pitches in every situation? Because I feel like the feel for both pitches is there completely.
I feel like my slider is the pitch that if I don't have my fastball or if the command is not there quite in the early innings, then my slider is it'll get me back to where I need to be pitch. Like I can land that pitch. I have confidence in that pitch in any count, no matter what. Like that's the pitch that's going to get me wherever I need to go in that count. And so that's last year that pitch helped me a lot. Even though it was new, I found a lot of confidence in it early. And I think that's it carried me through a couple of games that I didn't quite have my fastball command like I needed it, but being able to show that harder breaking ball in just random counts, fastball counts, helped me find my fastball later in the game.
And go ahead. And one last thing I just want to mention on your split, you mentioned your splitter that came along late in the year. Is there anything that led to the added feel to that pitch, or is this something that you just continually worked on and then it just finally came for you?
So I kind of got the idea when I was home for Christmas break. My changeup from my slot it never really worked. Wasn't ever a plus pitch. Didn't never get swing and misses. So I felt like in order to be a starter, I needed that fourth pitch. And the first half of the year, it played well. The fastball, slider, and curveball played well because I didn't have much data. Like nobody really knew that I had that slider, so it played well. And in the middle of the year, people started sitting on the slider. And so I just went in a bullpen one day. I was like, look, my changeup's not working. I need to throw something else. I'm gonna try this splitter. And I think the next week we went to Western Kentucky and I only threw two, but both of them were swing and misses. And I was like, look, that's by far the best fourth pitch I think I could possibly add right now. And then later in the year, it was on I think the Ole Miss game, I actually threw more splitters than I did curveballs and sliders combined. And it became my pitch, and I fell in love with it. The movement, the profile, how it came out with my fastball comes out of the same slot. Don't have to do anything different. Throw it, just a little bit slower than my slider. So just having something that would tunnel really well with the fastball, it played perfectly.
I like that you brought up the data and the analytics of your slider because, you are kind of like an analytic darling. Like all of your pitches have traits that are pretty big. Do you like to dive into that sort of stuff? Like, do you like to be prescriptive about how you train?
I do. I think it holds a lot of value in being able to repeat a pitch, being able to see that, oh, well, this one was better. Well, this one felt better. Why did this one feel different than the one before? And see it, being able to, see the numbers with how you felt on throwing that pitch. I think it can hold a big part in developing pitches. And I think that's how I developed my slider so well, was being able to throw a pitch and see how it projected on a Rapsodo or a TrackMan and being able to go from there, feeling with grips and pressure points and stuff. So there's definitely a lot of value in using that kind of stuff.
Well, your pitches all took a huge stride this year. Obviously, it's all mostly what we've been talking about. What are the things that you're looking forward to move forward into this winter to really improve your arsenal altogether? Excuse me.
I think it would have to be landing like a 0-0 breaking ball, 0-0 curveball to be more specific. I think that like in the fall so far, I've only had 15 innings, I think, somewhere, give or take. But I've found I had more success in innings where I was able to land the 0-0 breaking ball and play the fastball later in the count rather than the hitters sitting so early on the fastball and trying to ambush the fastball. I felt like I got in trouble with that last year, having to throw a 2-0 fastball or a 3-0 fastball, just having a lot of ambush hits on it. So being able to have not a get me over breaking ball, but a breaking ball that I'm confident in landing for a 0-0 or a 1-0 strike.
I mean, a lot of guys don't cross that pitch ability, plateau, or pitch backwards plateau until pro ball. So that's kind of a really nuanced way for you to look at things. I like that. I want to talk about your demeanor on the mound, because I don't think a lot of people, I mean, you're a really serious, you're a bulldog on the mound. Is it the lights come on when you hit the mound, or are you kind of a serious guy off the mound? How would you characterize yourself as a pitcher in that way?
I wouldn't say I was a serious guy off the mound. I do, I come off as a little quiet, a little reserved sometimes, but I love to train. I love the whole aspect of baseball in itself, and watching games and talking to people during games. And I just think once I get on the mound, it's a whole nother world. A lot of people told me like they would see me before a game or something, like walking out to the mound, I'd be chewing gum, I chew gum with my mouth open or whatever, and then game would start, and it was almost like my face just completely turned. Like they never saw anything on my face move. I had the same facial expression through the whole inning, and then I got in the dugout and I started chewing gum again. And somebody sent me a video of it.
Terminator.
It's just the atmosphere of being on a baseball field on the mound, and the competitive nature in me wanting to, just dominate every pitch and just be myself and have fun on the mound, all while, trying to strike the hitter out in 3 pitches. I think it's just all wrapped up in one. And it's kind of a serious, thing. I try to be serious, but then again, I try to relax and not get too tense, because that's when I get myself in trouble and getting deep counts, and just trying to let my stuff work and be just be a pitcher and not try to be a thrower.
There you go.
Well, growing up, doubling down on this a little bit, growing up, was there a pitcher that you looked at to really emulate your game when you were younger, giving you that fire on the mound, or is that something that you really just grew into as you got older?
I grew up a Braves fan. So I watched Craig Kimbrell, watching him pitch. It was always really electric to me. And lately, as I got into high school and early college, Tyler Glasnow, I watched a lot of his games, and his pitch style was who I modeled a lot of my pitch style after. But early on, it was, if somebody would ask me when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, who my favorite pitcher was, it probably would have been Craig Kimbrell.
I like that. I kind of see where you get the serious nature from. You got the bird.
Yeah.
All right. Ian, I don't have any other questions if you want to jump into these rapid fire questions.
I had one more slightly baseball question, but now you're at the University of Florida. You made 1 start last year in an imposing SEC atmosphere. At LSU, you struck out 11. This year, you're going to be going into multiple SEC ball fields. Is there a place that you really look forward to pitching this year as you go into these insane atmospheres?
I think the obvious answer with that would be Tennessee. Hearing the stories of that place, and the stories of the team they had last year, and watching them play last year was really awesome. And then Swayze, Ole Miss is probably a high second. So, but no, Tennessee, Tennessee is definitely a lot to look forward to about that series.
Awesome.
Yeah, SEC. I feel like you're the type of guy that feeds off that SEC energy. That should be fun to watch. All right, man. Let's hit you with some of these final rapid fire questions. We just hit Wyatt with the same questions, but I don't mind. So, Hurston, USA Baseball, University of Florida. Do you have a younger or an older sister?
I have one. I have an 18-year-old sister and a 7-year-old sister.
All right. Well, let's talk about the 18-year-old sister.
Okay.
Your younger sister. Who's the one guy on USA Baseball or University of Florida that you are not going to let date your sister?
University of Florida, I would have to go. I can't hit my roommate with that one. I'd have to go Anthony Urcity for University
Okay.
of Florida.
Okay.
I was sitting here like, what if it's the same guy?
I was like, it's possible.
No, same guy.
All right. We'll hit you with another one. Who's the worst cook, the worst grill master at the University of Florida? Anybody you've had their food yet and been like, not again?
See, we don't really eat like cook together, but somebody like that I think just wouldn't be able to cook. Some people just have that.
This is better. I
No way
like
to
this better anyway.
Uh, I have to go with Jake Clemente. He's a freshman. I just have a feeling.
Those South Florida boys can't cook no food.
Ian saw Clemente in high school. For sure. All right, we'll hit you with this last one. Kind of get an idea to flip it. Maybe give some dap to someone. Who's got the best style on the University of Florida?
I have to go Dale Thomas. He's got jeans and boots on everywhere he goes. He's got some kind of nice shirt on. He's always got it going. He'll show up to practice. He'll walk from his house to practice. He's always got something nice on.
I could be wrong. Wasn't Dale Thomas the worst dresser for Wyatt?
No, Dale's who Wyatt wouldn't let his sister date, actually.
Oh.
I knew Dale's name came up.
All right. We'll hit you with this last question. We always finish with it. Hurston, what is the one random fact that you know about anything? Doesn't have to be baseball related, that not a lot of other people know.
This is going to take a while.
Take your time.
So my interesting fact is that information travels from when you take it in to your brain at 250 miles an hour.
250 miles per hour?
Yeah. So whatever information you take in, it travels at 250 miles an hour to your brain so you can understand it.
That's a college fact right there.
Instant. I
like that.
That's crazy.
I think that's a good one. I think that's a top 10. That's a top 10.
There we go.
I think so.
Hurston Waldrep, the pride of Thomasville, Georgia. Excited to see what the spring looks like. Excited to see what another tick up in your velo and stuff looks like this winter. I don't know if that's possible, but it should be a big spring.
Thank y'all. Thank you for having me.
All right.